Okay, so welcome to the first live stream for the Disney Movie Database. This is Ed Buskirk, and we are streaming live from Clubhouse South. We've done a couple of videos here in the past, and we are trying live video for the first time. Not expecting a lot of people out there at this time, since I didn't even announce it to anyone that this was going to be live, but I did want to come to you with a little bit of the movie news for today. So we're going to give this a shot, and hopefully this is actually broadcasting. I guess we'll find out in about 15 minutes or so. But hopefully this is better audio and video quality for you. So we're going to give this a shot. This is today's movie news. Today's January the 22nd, 2018. And we do have a few movie items that we would like to discuss. So first of all, let's talk a little bit about some announcement news. Disney's Sword in the Stone has received a director. The director, and let me get his name here. Let me see if I can pronounce this correctly. Juan Carlos Fresnadillo. He was director of the zombie thriller 28 Weeks Later. Now, how does that translate to The Sword in the Stone? I don't know, but Disney has had quite a good track record of finding young, talented filmmakers who can come up with unique visions and ideas for their films. So hopefully this will be another case of that. I don't know much about the director. I do know that I have seen 28 Weeks Later, and it is it's quite a scary zombie flick. So we'll see what he can do with Sword in the Stone. Next up, I did want to let you all know, and this is very exciting news for me. For those of you who know me, you know how much I enjoy the early package films from Walt Disney. They're part of the animated canon. The animated canon is the series of animated films released by Walt Disney Animation Studios, from Snow White all the way up to the most current release, Moana. So in that entire canon, there was a period during the 40s, during the war years, where Walt Disney released what we call package films. Now these are short vignettes, sometimes set to music, sometimes the ones that I'm going to be talking about next, Three Caballeros and Saludos Amigos. Those two were actually created to help promote good relations between the United States and South America during World War II, as Hitler was trying to encourage those countries to come to the side of the Axis. We were using Walt Disney's goodwill to try and recruit these countries to stay more on the side of the Allies. Luckily, we got a couple of really nice movies out of this. Walt Disney took those trips to South America, made two beautiful animated films highlighting the culture and the beauty of South America. And we ended up with these two films. Now, they've never been released on Blu-ray before. Now, this is a sticking point with me. Many of you know this. We haven't had Make Mine Music, Melody Time, Saludos Amigos, or Three Caballeros released on Blu-ray. They are 4 of the 5 holdout films on Blu-ray, the 5th being The Black Cauldron. Well, on January 30th, as a Disney Movie Club exclusive, we will actually receive those two films, the two South American films, Saludos Amigos and Three Caballeros, as part of a package. It's a Disney Movie Club exclusive, so I'd highly encourage you to go sign up over at the Disney Movie Club and grab that on Blu-ray while you can. I'm hoping if this goes well, then maybe very soon we will see another package exclusive with Make Mine Music and Melody Time. No word as to yet as of what extras will be on there. I know on prior DVD releases, they have included the documentary film Walt and El Grupo, which is a fascinating look behind the scenes as to what happened on this trip. So hopefully that'll be included. If not, you can also pick that up separately on another DVD as well. But highly suggest that you pick those up. Okay, so on to this week's box office report. Let me get my numbers here. So Star Wars The Last Jedi is nearing $1.3 billion at the worldwide box office. We are currently sitting at $1.296 billion. So we're only about $4 million away from hitting that $1.3 billion mark, which is remarkable. More on that in a moment, because some people are seeing this as a box office failure or something that didn't live up to expectations. I kind of take issue with that, but we'll talk about that in just a moment. In the same vein, Coco has surpassed $650 million at the worldwide box office right now, pulling in $656 million worldwide. That's 200 domestically and 450 from the international box office. And Thor has, as we had predicted in our last box office report, Thor has also surpassed the $850 million benchmark. Now, circling back to Coco and Last Jedi just for a second. Coco right now is sitting at about the 14th place as far as if you were to rank all the Pixar films and the amount of money that they've made. And it seems kind of disappointing, but the film has pulled in $650 million. So I would challenge the logic that says that it's not a well-received film, or it's lacking in some way. $650 million is money that any film would be happy to make, and they've really knocked it out of the park with the story on this one, and I think it's only going to grow. The fans will only latch onto it more going forward as it hits home video and it has time to sit with audiences and get shared amongst maybe people who haven't seen it before. It's too early to call it a cult classic, but I would imagine that this film will pick up a much larger audience once it hits home video. But $650 million, even it being low on the Pixar chain, is not anything to be disappointed with, I don't believe. In the same vein, we've heard a lot of people, a lot of outcry about how disappointing the box office has been for Star Wars The Last Jedi. Now, this kind of blows my mind a little bit. The film has pulled in, as we said, almost $1.3 billion worldwide. $1.3 billion worldwide is something that most films cannot even dream of achieving. Most films don't even look to hit the $1 billion mark. However, this being a Star Wars film, people are saying, well, why did it not make as much money as the last Star Wars trilogy film, which was The Force Awakens? The Force Awakens had a very unique position in that it was the first episode of a new trilogy that nobody ever expected to get. So to say that this film could live up to that hype or those expectations, I think is just foolish. The fact that it's made $1.3 billion means that this film is doing just as well as other middle chapters in Star Wars sagas before it. I don't think any of the imagined, and I'm going to call it imagined backlash, because I don't think that the backlash is what people think that it is. There's a very vocal minority of Star Wars fans, and these are the same vocal minority who trashed the prequels and trashed George Lucas and trashed every other thing Star Wars related when things didn't seem to go their way. And I hate to say that, because some of these people are my friends. Some of these people are my close family, and I hate to see people just going, I don't know, ballistic over a Star Wars film because the film didn't fulfill what they thought that it should fulfill. Well, let's take a moment, let's take a step back and realize that this story hasn't finished yet. There's still a whole other chapter to go before you can sit back and say, well, this story didn't tell me everything that I wanted it to, because we haven't finished the story yet. So obviously, this story is not finished, and if you don't have a finished story, then how can you say that you haven't gotten every answer that you're looking for? Second, it's just a movie. It's just a film. And as far as Star Wars films go, it's pretty darn good. I wouldn't say that it's my favorite. It does have some flaws that we've talked about on a few shows. If you've tuned into the Disney Movie Review, you know that we've talked about this exhaustively. It's not a flawless film, but it's a darn good Star Wars film, and it's a darn good film with a message. And furthermore, this film actually takes the mythology of Star Wars and gives us a opportunity to expand upon it as other films have not done in the past. So I would applaud Rian Johnson for his efforts in making this film. I may not agree with every choice that he made. I quite frankly disagree with many choices that he made, but it's still a great film, and I would encourage anybody to go see it. And as far as a Star Wars film goes, it would be one of the films that I would recommend most, and telling people to, hey, watch this movie. This is a good representation of what Star Wars is. So that's what we have for you tonight. This is a live, like I said, this is our first live stream. There's been a few hiccups here. I apologize for that. Hopefully this will get better, and I hope that the audio and the video is much better than we've had in the past. When I shut this off, I'm going to go review it myself and see what I think. I'd like to hear from you. I'd like to hear what you think, and I'd like to hear what you think about the success or failure of movies at the box office. What constitutes a success? What constitutes a failure? And can we still today look at box office as a measure of success? I say no. I say that there's far more to it than the box office numbers. And I say that a lot of studios would still be envious of the numbers that these Disney films are pulling in. So let me know what you think. Send me some messages in the comments, and I look forward to hearing from you. Thanks. That's all for this evening. Bye-bye. Now we have to figure out how to turn this thing off.